Hi, welcome back to the channel for another video. If you're stopping by for the first time, please do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. What I do on this channel is to document and share the investments that I hold in my taxable account. In this account, I buy ETFs. If you want to know more about my holdings, please check out the first video that I uploaded on November the 1st. I will make monthly videos to update you on the investments that I have in this account, such as the number of stocks that I bought over the course of the month and the value of my portfolio. I'll also make weekly videos about ETFs and other finance topics. Today's video is about one of the ETFs that I hold in my account, the Vanguard S&P 500 Index, VFV. Before I continue, I'd like to put out there a quick disclaimer that I'm not a financial advisor. The information that I'm sharing is for entertainment purposes only, and it does not constitute financial advice. Before you invest in anything, please do your own research and make sure that you only invest in things that you understand. With that being said, I'll jump back to my topic. The S&P 500 is one of the most followed stock indexes in the world. It tracks the performance of the 500 largest publicly traded companies in the United States. VFV is a Canadian-listed ETF that mirrored the S&P 500. It has been trading on the Toronto Stock Exchange since November 2012. Currently, its market price is $105.58, as you can see here. On your left, you can see the price chart since inception. So if you go all the way back to November 2012, so you can see it was trading at that time at $24.56. If you move all the way to now, November 2021, you can see the current market price is $105.58. The market price has really done well since inception. Actually, there's two factors that affect the price of VFV. The first factor is the stock holdings, or simply the S&P 500 index. When the S&P 500 index goes up, the market price of VFV goes up. When the S&P 500 goes down, the market price of VFV goes down. The second factor is currency fluctuations. This is an ETF that trades in Canadian dollar, but holds US stocks. So when the US dollar goes up or appreciates relative to the Canadian dollar, this should push the price of VFV up. Conversely, when the US dollar goes down or depreciates relative to the Canadian dollar, this should pull the market price of VFV down. When the S&P 500 and the value of the US dollar move in opposite directions, for example, one goes up and the other goes down, there will be either an increase or a decrease in the market value of VFV. This will depend on the magnitude of the change in the S&P 500 and in the value of the US dollar. This ETF is not hedged against the currency fluctuation. I think Vanguard has a version of the S&P 500 that is hedged against currency fluctuation, VSP. I will probably make a video about that one in the coming weeks just to show you the difference between the two. So next you can see the management expense ratio, which is 0.08%, which is really low if you compare it to what a mutual fund can charge you. Below, you can see the distribution frequency, which is quarterly. This is simply the dividend that they pay. Every quarter, they pay you dividend for holding this stock. You have here the asset under management, which is 5.9 billion as of October the 31st, 2021. So here we have some fund highlights. VFV seeks to track the performance of the S&P 500 to the extent possible and before fees and expenses. It invests primarily in the US domiciled Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. It employs a passively managed full replicated index strategy to provide exposure of large US companies. It uses efficient, cost-effective index management techniques. Okay, we have here some fund facts. The inception date, which was November the 2nd, 2012. The income distribution per unit, which is the dividend that they pay. The amount is roughly 27 cents per unit. And the last time that they paid was October the 8th, 2021. As a Canadian investors, when you hold a Canadian listed ETF that holds US stocks, you're subject to what they call the foreign withholding tax, which is 15%. So basically, you're going to be paying 15% of the dividend to the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, which is the US equivalent of our Canada Revenue Agency. What Vanguard does before they distribute the dividend, they take out the 50% and they remit it to the IRS. You don't have to do anything on your end. Vanguard is going to take care of this. The amount that you see are roughly 27 cents. This is the net amount of the tax. Vanguard already paid the 15% to the IRS. I think the gross amount was somewhere around 30 and something cents. Basically, you paid something like 4 cents to the IRS. So as a Canadian resident, when you invest in a Canadian listed ETF that holds US stocks or in US stocks, it's very important that you speak to your accountant or you do your own research to make sure that you understand the tax implications. Okay, next we have just the performance total returns. We can look at the summary. You can see since inception, VFV has returned on average 18.71% per year, which is really impressive. Let's take a look at the annual return. This is the total return by market price column. In 2013, it returned 40.97%, which is really phenomenal. 2014, it returned 23.99%. 2013, it returned 20.31%. 2016, 8.22%. 2017, 13.66%. 2018, 2.79%. 2019, 25.12%. 2020, despite the COVID, it returned 15.79%. As you can see, since inception, it has never returned a negative value. It has only returned a value less than 10% twice since inception. This was in 2018 with 2.79% and 2016, 8.22%. Okay, let's take a look at the growth of 10K. If you had invested 10K, let's say since inception, you have today 46,687. If you had invested 10K 5 years ago, you would have 21,535. If you had invested 10K 3 years ago, you would have 16,670. If you had invested 10K a year ago, you would have 13,230. Again, you can see the importance of investing early. The earlier you start investing, the better, because you give your money time to compound. You can go up here to see the cumulative return since inception. So it's 367.7%, which is again really impressive. Okay, here we have the market capitalization. You see large cap companies represent 82.03% of the fund. Medium and large, 4.33%. Medium, 11.75%. Medium small, 1.85%. Small, only 0.03%, which is really insignificant. And you have here the total 99.99%, almost 100%. Next, we have the region exposure. You can see on the region, North America, 100% of the fund is invested in North America. Market allocation, country, United States of America, again, region, North America, 100% of the fund invested in the US. Okay, here we have the weighted exposure by sector. Information technology represents 27.9% of the fund. Healthcare, 13%. Consumer discretionary, 12.8%. Financials, 11.4%. Communication services, 10.8%. Industrial, 8%. Consumer staples, 5.6%. Energy, 2.8%. Real estate, 2.6%. Materials, 2.5%. Utilities, 2.4%. and the total gives you 100%. Here we have the table of the top 10 holdings. You have here the holding name, the percentage of market value, the sector, the market allocation, the market value, and the number of shares. The first holding is a Microsoft Corp with a percentage of market value of 6.33%. The sector is a system software. The second holding is Apple with a percentage of market value of 5.97%, technology hardware. Next, we have Amazon, Tesla, Alphabet Inc. Class A, Alphabet Inc. Class C, Facebook Inc. Class A, NVIDIA Corp, Berkshire Hathaway, and JP Morgan Chase. These are the top 10 holdings. If you want to look at all the holdings, you can just export this spreadsheet. You can see there's currently 507 holdings. All right, this brings us to the end of the video. Feel free to leave a comment below. Don't forget to like the video. If you're stopping by for the first time, hit the subscribe button to help the channel grow. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time. Until then, stay safe. Bye.